Hey folks, this is BestInSlot. Welcome to a beautiful new week and therefore a beautiful new mod spotlight. We're going to check out 8 fantastic, some very strange and some very nostalgic mods today. As per usual, before we get started though, a very quick disclaimer: mods can cause problems when the game updates, which we're expecting probably in a month and a half-ish from now. Mods can, cause problems with your save files and stuff like that. Just be aware that when you're messing with them, there are some potential issues. If they do break your game, it's not my fault, it's not a mod maker's fault, and indeed, it's not Frontier's fault. As Modius isn't here today because he has a hat that he really likes and he's distracted by the hat. That's all I've got for you. Okay, let's check out some really cool new mods. So we are starting things off with Stomatosuchus by Master Do. Of course, we had that fantastic Dinosuchus last time, and now we've got Stomatosuchus, another crocodilomorph. A crocodilomorph, in fact, from late Cretaceous Egypt. And strangely had small conical teeth, and potentially, as you can see, that Master Do's done really well with here. If we hop into capture mode for a second, we've got this pelican-like pouch underneath the mandible. And the idea is very much that it would scoop up fish like a pelican and just sort of swallow them whole. And the teeth weren't really for crushing or biting or ripping or tearing until it's done, but the teeth would act as more as a barrier to prevent anything from, sliding out the other way, basically. So that's really interesting. A lot of our info on Stomatosuchus. It looks really cool. So we've got an albino version over here. As you can see, we've got the Mississippiensis one over here, and then I think this is a general one over here, all looking rather beautiful. A lot of our info on Stomatosuchus is speculative because we only have one specimen, which was a partial skull and a couple of vertebrae, if I remember correctly, and that was all destroyed by the Allies actually during World War II because it was being kept in a Munich museum. So during the bombing of Germany in World War II, all the fossils were destroyed. The weird... Oh, it looks fantastic there. That's beautiful. But yeah, another fantastic addition by Master Do. This also has the... I'll tell you what, I'll force it and you can see it in action in case you missed it last time. This once again has custom animations. So if we put it to sleep, we should be able to see it's got that resting crocodilian sort of animation. It looks a bit weird initially when it does it, but it's going to do it there. Oh, actually, smoother this time. Little jolt at the end. Yeah, there you go. So, like a modern crocodile, it rests with its mouth wide open. You see this on the bank of the river, resting just like this. So that's really cool to see that come back, and yeah, just expanding our crocodilomorph roster. So you may have seen a couple of things whilst I was doing that. I've got a couple of mods here from Viral Cyclops, and they've brought over some stuff from Planet Zoo and some stuff from something else. The first set is a set of mushrooms. So we've got these brown toadstools over here. Lovely texture on them, actually. So we've got different sizes of those over there. We've got these brown flat ones over here. There's also a gaggle of the brown toadstools, as you can see, wibbling, wobbling in the wind. And over here we've got some more classic fantasy style, red and white sort of speckled mushrooms as well. So you can, they're really good around logs and stuff like that. They really suit that. Maybe a cave environment, something like that. Just another little decoration that I've always kind of wanted in the game and really cool to have here, and definitely something you could fold into your exhibits or indeed into your general park design. Use it, for displays and hello, bloody hell, and stuff like that. That's not the only one though. They also released, and this is from Planet Zoo, the Cattails mod. So we get 3 different sizes of this, and it just lets you put down, your reeds, your cattails, put them in your water at the edges of things, make like a real little reef like I have here. And if you're going to use this, use it with your crocodilomorphs. That's a really natural, logical kind of combination. Where are you going to go? Okay. So yeah, cattails and mushrooms, 2 separate mods. Download whichever ones you want, super easy to install, and these just get added as an extra into your scenery selection, and they're bouncing in the wind and they look like they're a real part of the game, so really cool to have around. Our second new species is also by Master Dude. This is Bistahieversor. Hopefully I'm not butchering that completely. We've got two of the special skins here. This one is a beauty. This is a Tyrannosaurian from late Cretaceous in New Mexico. Now a Tyrannosaurian, well, it's kind of debated if it is a Tyrannosaurian or just a straight up Tyrannosaurid, but Tyrannosaurians are a evolutionary grade along the way to full-time Tyrannosauria. The interesting name means Bistahie Destroyer, and it's a reference to the Bistahie region where it was discovered. And that itself, the Bistahie and the Bistahie, is a reference to the Navajo word Bistahie, which means Bistahie, which means a place of the adobe formations. So the adobe mountain sort of range, right? So mountains are the flat top kind of mountain things. I don't really remember, but it's anyways, that's where the name comes from. It's very interesting. And yeah, another really nice, interesting Tyrannosaurian from Master Dude. Really like this pattern on the skull in particular on this one with that, you know, blue and the sort of the little sparks of red in there. Just, yeah, looks good. Just fits nicely into the game. Not much red on this one. They look really cool. There's a couple. These are the, you know, custom inverted skins, you know, those bonus extra skins. I think they're called Cypress, I think it is for these. Let me double check that. Yeah, so these are the two Cypress skins that you get included as with the mod. And yeah, just a cool new custom species. Cool to see a Tyrannosaurian. We don't see many of those whatsoever. Before we get to some of the weirder stuff, we do have another cool new species. I don't know why they've all come out green. Don't know if that was my fault. But this is very coolly Megacerops by, and there's a few people here, JV Man, Netraptor, Crassel, and Gushy all contributed to this big old guy. This is an odd-toed ungulate, similar to rhinoceros. It's not a rhinoceros, it's not a type of rhinoceros or directly related in that way, but it's similar to rhinoceros, of course, and it's from late Eocene North America. And this thing is gigantic. It doesn't always come across in the game. Oh, it's got spots, that one. That's cool. I like that a lot, actually. This thing was gigantic, reaching sizes of modern-day forest elephants. And modern-day forest elephants, I believe, are like the third or fourth biggest animal in the world. Terrestrial, of course. Standing at 8 feet tall. Imagine this at 8 feet. I'm 6'2", and I'm fairly tall, so this thing's got 2 feet on me. I'm just imagining looking up and seeing this thing 2 feet above me at the shoulder. Like, I'd probably be around here somewhere looking at it, but the shoulder height and up here, we've got this really huge spinal column here, loads of muscle, loads of bone packed in there, and that's just because the head is so heavy with these gigantic sort of soft horns at the end. I wish I would use it for defense or for, you know, mating rituals and for fighting interspecies mating battles and stuff like that. But yeah, really cool to see another mammal. We don't get many mammals. Works really well. I prefer the lighter skins. I think this one might be my favourite. I'm just going to grab you, my friend, and move you. Okay, I can't even click you. You're wild. Oh, you're going to stay there. But yeah, this sort of lighter skin looks a lot nicer with less of the green, and it's rigged really well. It kind of just works. I'm really impressed by it. I guess it's on a ceratopsid, so that would kind of work well anyway, but the way that the model fits over the rig and kind of there's nothing jutting out weirdly, it looks really good. It's modeled really well. The skins are fairly plain, but it's kind of what you would expect from a alien like this as well. So I wish it was less green, but that's about my only complaint. It looks really good. Yeah, really, it's got that sort of armor plating kind of aesthetic you expect from a rhinoceros-esque creature as well. Fantastic stuff. I'm feeling I should have released this at the end. Maybe I should have saved this one for last. So, this is Godzillasaurus by Decker and Trippy28. Now, obviously, it's based on the classic sort of 1950s kind of Gojira kind of style. Let me grab you. Let's take you out into the wilderness where you'll be better suited. And yeah, we finally have another Godzilla mod. We've had a couple in Evolution's history, not many, but we've had a couple. We had a G14 at some point, my beloved. But now we've got the classic G-Man from those old Toho films. with that slightly, I always thought, sort of ape-like face. We've got the jutting spiky spikes down there at the back. We've got that kind of striated, again, almost fur-like texture that was going on. Kind of looks like a dude in a rubber suit, as it should. Those gigantic thighs for days, this lad. Thighs for days, big puffy tail. It looks a bit weird, right? It's got a little bit of a moonwalk going on, but it looks pretty good, all things considered. I don't know what this is rigged on, but I'm kind of impressed that it works as well as it does. I mean, like, in motion it looks a little bit daft, as you would kind of expect, but I think when you pause it, you can kind of feel it. Like, let's tell you what, let's move him into our park. Let him wreak destruction on our visitors. See how that looks. Yeah! It really does kind of look like a Godzilla city attack. If Godzilla attacked Jurassic World, what would it look like? Well, it would look something like this. I like my silly mods, and so do other people, so shout out to Decker and Trippy for this. I think this is really cool. And I'm going to leave you over here now, buddy, because I think you need a lot of room to roam around in. You're a free-range Godzilla. Godzilla doesn't want to be fed, he wants to hunt. He can't suppress 70 years of pure instinct. Well, it's a bit more than that. The original Godzilla, was it the 50s? Anyways. Yeah, it looks good. I'm kind of impressed. Fun, weird mod. Love a weird mod. Right, now the next one we're going to do a little bit differently. So Liv, i.e. Rinrobi, has been doing a huge series of paleo overhauls, and I think I've showcased one of them in the past, I can't quite remember. But they've done this for ceratopsids and small carnivores and medium carnivores and large carnivores and herbivores and hadrosaurs and tons of these, and they're really, really good. So I just want to showcase the latest one in this video. So Liv's Paleo Overhaul Marine Reptiles, uploaded it by Rinrobi, who I'm assuming is Liv. Yeah, it's a bunch of cosmetics, paleo accurate cosmetics, including a bunch of individualized species for all of the marine animals in the game. So if you want a more paleo accurate park, you just go download all of Liv's mods basically, and you'll get there. But the best way to showcase this really is probably not in the water. Oh, also there's I should have mentioned that the Stomatosuchus, like with the dino, has a aquatic lagoon sort of variant, as you can see. Right, so if we go onto our Atomborosaurus, for example, I'm going to pop you down there, buddy, I'm sorry. And then we shuffle along our cosmetic set. As you can see, we can kind of get, and this is the one I'm excited about, so we've got a Dunkleosteus cosmetic. There you go. We've got Chonk Dunk. So for those who don't know, Dunkleosteus was, I mean, it's not confirmed or anything like that, but Dunkleosteus was recently sort of resized in a prospective paper in order to be much smaller, basically, much thinner, like not thinner but like shorter in terms of body length. Like all the proportions are basically the same, but it's like if you just grabbed it from both ends and squished it inwards. But you can get it, I'm not necessarily going to show you all of them, but you can kind of get the idea. So that is our new Mosasaurus hoffmanni over there. There's a few different mosasaur species in there. You can see the change in particular on the tail shape, and obviously we've got less osteoderms and spikes and less sort of Jurassic World kind of stuff going on. I feel sorry for all of these. Our Atomborosaurus, this lovely long pinstripe kind of pattern. You see it's a little bit longer in the neck, and you can see some of them haven't changed that much, which is testament to, you know, Frontier's design work in the first place. Leopleurodon, again, it's more about getting rid of the spikes and the sort of Jurassic World excess more than anything else with this one. The Dunkel, there it is, little Chonk Dunk, looks really, really good. Again, most of the changes are, it's just been brought back a little bit. We've got this interesting sort of shape to the dorsal fin there as well, which is really cool. And this has been elongated a little bit. It looks fantastic, actually. It looks quite menacing, but it looks great in this short, rotund kind of form. Ichthyosaurs, there's like 4 or 5 different ichthyosaur species in there, so we've got just small changes on this one. I wouldn't say that's much of a change. The ichthyosaur is one of those ones I think is quite difficult to get wrong. Elasmosaurus, of course, has a much longer neck now, a slightly different tail shape, and, you know, we don't have that bizarre... I've always had a soft spot for the weird dragon head, but this one is probably much more accurate to what an elasmosaur would have looked like. I feel like if Evolution 2 came out now, this is not what Elasmosaurus would look like. I don't think Frontier would do this again. I think there's been a philosophy change when it comes to the designs across the time span of Jurassic World Evolution 2, but, you know, we have it now, so it is what it is. But it might end up something more like this in reality. It'll probably have some stuff, because at the end of the day, you do have to differentiate your species, but this might have been a bit much. And, you know, Tylosaurus? Or is this Leoplodon? Have I been stupid? One sec. That's a Chrono, of course, that's our Chronosaurus. And our Chronosaurus. Again, not huge changes on the Chronosaurus. Some head shape changes there, you can definitely see. Changes on the teeth. And changes on the tail, and this little fin bit's been removed and stuff like that. So not necessarily huge changes on all of them. You know, Dunk's quite big, the Osmosaurus is quite big, as you can see, just in terms of like body length and stuff like that. But a really cool pack if you just want, you know, really good looking variants of your existing species. You know, these are all extra cosmetics. They don't replace anything, as you can see. We've got all of them here with their original and new versions. And, you know, just go download all of these mods and you could build yourself a regular Jurassic World Evolution 2 park, but a much more paleo-accurate version. You don't lose anything. It's just a paleo-accurate Jurassic World. I'm just going to put this down. I haven't tried this out, so I need to make sure this works. I'll do it over here, because this is where the carnivores are. I need to build the drama here. Let me throw a letterbox on here as well. Who will awaken from the mist? He has returned. He's finally back. It's been years and years, but George is finally back. This is the Goat 2 mod by Mr. Troodon and Yossiba. I don't know. I think Mr. Troodon made it originally, and then Yossiba's maybe brought it over to Evolution 2, if I'm reading correctly. And it's George. There's not much else to add to that. It's George. So for those who don't know, George was a thing back in Jurassic World Evolution 1. They brought out a mod, it's just called Goat. And it changes the goat to a humanoid who bounds, this naked, bald humanoid who bounds around on all fours. Tell you what, let me make this slow motion. George, where have you gone? Naked, bald humanoid who bounds around on all fours and has a strangely baboon-esque red derriere, as you can see. The lovely details there. And I called him George in a video for some reason, and it kind of just became a thing. He was George. That's what he always was, and he now will always be George. And George is back. Finally, my beloved has returned, looking as monstrous as the day he was born, with that long-ass neck and weird baby-shaped head and red ass and strange legs, and all of it comes together to form something just monumentally beautiful and terrifying. He's a noble creature, to say the least. It's funny, I looked at my Jurassic World Evolution 1 screenshots the other day. Oh, a few weeks ago now, whenever it was. Just checking, you know, my old screenshots to see what I had. And I had one screenshot from Jurassic World Evolution 1. One single screenshot had survived. Because I take screenshots all the time in these games, you know, for thumbnails and stuff. And George was the only screenshot I thought was worth keeping. He's the only thing that survived from my entire 2,000 hours plus in Jurassic World Evolution 1. He is beautiful. He's as beautiful as the day I lost him. And I'm so glad that he has returned to me. So big thanks to Mr. Troodon and Yossiba. And I think we're about to see the George hunt. The Bistahie is... I can't click any of these dinosaurs today. The Bistahie is on the way. George is being hunted down. I know this is going to hurt George boy, but this is what you were designed for. Oh, yeah, okay, we've got some problems here, as you might expect. I don't know if that's a George problem or a Bistahie problem. I have to imagine it's probably a Bistahie problem, actually, but tell you what I'll do. I'll do a little test with something else on the George, and I will report back. Alright, let's give that another go. Let's see how it works. Yeah, there we go. Oh, George, I'm so sorry, buddy. I'm so sorry. But you know what? The cloning factory is infinite. George's will appear until the end of time to feed our dinosaurs. Very excited to see the return of George. It's been a long time coming, and was definitely one of the highlights of Jurassic World Evolution 1 for me. I think someone posted a Jurassic World Evolution iceberg on the subreddit. I think George made it onto the iceberg, so he's been a bit of a cultural phenomenon, has George. Living his best life. Right, we are going to end it there then. Thank you so much for joining me, my lovely ladies and gentlemen. Come back tomorrow for the release of Claws, that brand new dinosaur Minecraft adventure, which is really exciting. And I'm working on a very long video as well, which you might see this week. It might be next week. We'll see how things go. But either way, hope you all have a fantastic week. Throw me a like down below if you enjoyed the video. I will, of course, link all these mods in the description down below via the mod spotlight document. You can click that and then go give the mod makers all the love that they deserve, which is so much. I mean, it's Valentine's Day in 2 days. Go give them, you know, just excessive, like, just make it weird. You know, I need weird amounts of love. Don't we all? Thanks for joining me. Cheers, much love as always. Bye-bye.
Road.